Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 253. It's like I haven't said this before or something.
No.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I think we're good now. Yeah. Paul, do you
Twitch restart?
Paul, do you have any fascinating book facts that you can recite real
Nope,
quick?
you'll have to find the deleted scenes for that. So
Bummer.
maybe next time.
All right.
The THWAB is here. It's
yeah.
big.
THWAB is big. It's a big old THWAB.
We're gonna read it, and then we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Sure are. That's what we do.
Take two.
If you guys would like to read the definition of terms, I highly recommend checking out the THWAB yourself and reading through them, especially if you want to listen to Firing Range, because they use the mumbo jumbo, and I don't know the mumbo jumbo so good, and this helps you understand the mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, you want to get the mumbo jumbo? You read those terms.
Yeah.
Mumbo jumbo.
Gotta read the terms. So, first, we're gonna be jumping into global changes that are happening in season 15.
Yes.
So in season 15, we're getting legendary stasis weapons, which of course makes people panic. So they're letting us know a little bit about them. So stasis power weapons are in the power slot, but all other stasis weapons are in the kinetic slot. This is to avoid overcrowding the energy slot, and so it's reasonable to use one in match game content. The kinetic slot won't be renamed at this time. Oh God, what's it gonna be next?
It's gonna
I
be
already
the
call
dark,
it
it's gonna be the
Darkness.
darkness slots.
Darkness
'Cause,
slot.
you know, there's gonna be other darkness classes, and then you'll have 3, and then 3, and then all the power weapons can share it.
I mean, a decay weapon would be really cool in the kinetic slot.
That is
like that.
where I imagine this is headed. 'Cause
Thorn
I don't know.
is a kinetic weapon.
Oh my God, the conspiracy theory lines up. It's real.
Next, stasis weapons don't intrinsically do anything differently from weapons of other damage types, but they are the only weapons that can roll with stasis perks.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
That's new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I assume it's going to be stuff to do with like freezing people or slowing people, and
If they're
those
frozen and they
weapons
get shot by
interact
a
with that.
stasis weapon, then
Yeah.
something happens. Yeah.
which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We generally intend stasis perks with slowing or freezing effects to have a kill trigger, this being easy enough to trigger in PvE and fun to use, but not obnoxious to play against in PvP. Sounds good to me. Sounds like that makes sense.
What do you think that trigger means? Specifically.
Like, you know,
Like
after
kill clip.
reload, your next shot slows or something. You know, like after reload on kill, your next shot does something stasis-y or
Okay. Yeah.
It's like the
something like that.
stasis sidearm, right? We have to get
Kind
a
of,
kill
yeah.
and then reload, and then it will freeze. Give you
Interesting.
a
Yeah.
freeze bullet.
Yeah.
That's interesting because like there aren't like solar and void specific perks. You know, this
Yeah.
is entirely unique for designing perks just for one class.
It's super exciting. I think we
Yeah.
felt for a while that Bungie
Oh,
wants to
she
go wants to go down the road of making the elements mean something.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is kind of the beginning of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up having, solar perks, void perks.
I would absolutely love it if they went down that
I would,
path and made it a reality for
love it.
Destiny, because it'd make it so much more of a rich sandbox for the PvE side. Probably be a pain in the ass on the PvP
Because right now
side.
it's just match game.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you can see them starting to lean into this with elemental wells, and then a lot of the exotic buffs they have are now matching your subclass to like your weapon damage type. So
Yeah.
you can see where they're going with this. So
Yeah.
I would expect more stuff like this.
It's getting RPG.
Well, ever since I saw the elements interact in Borderlands 3, like I don't want to copy that directly, but like that
Right.
that type of thing happening, like I really like.
The next thing, they talk about the Quickdraw, how they nerfed Quickdraw. Well, now they've also fixed the quick swap glitch. So, in case you didn't know, there was a way for, if you didn't have Quickdraw on your shotgun or any weapon, you could use a certain glitch in the game to achieve Quickdraw, and they fixed it.
That's good.
It's good. I think I remember hearing that this was quite difficult to fix. One of those
Really? It's
things
been
that
around
you
for a
maybe
while.
don't think so. So I think I remember hearing that it's difficult to remove it without making the weapon feel like ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it does not feel like ass, and they found a way to fix it without creating ass.
Yeah, both of those things. Absolutely.
Don't want to create ass. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no residual ass, please.
Next, we're talking about primary ammo. They're switching the way this works. So all primary ammo weapons now have infinite ammo. You cannot run out of primary ammo. I remember on Planet Destiny, we were talking about why don't they just have infinite ammo in the primary slot?
Yep.
We talked about that a lot, and we just kind of gave up on it, right? We haven't talked
Yeah.
about it in years, I would guess.
Yeah. We just
But
assumed
yeah,
it was
that's
never
a
going to happen.
Nice change.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
It's great.
Inertia override has been adjusted to account for there being no primary bricks. That is in the abilities THWAB. You can check out what that's going to do. Drop mag's downside of reducing reserve ammo is now almost meaningless. So it's been reworked to be plus reload speed and minus magazine size.
Okay.
Makes sense. Compact arrow shafts upside of increasing reserve ammo. Likewise, reworked to be plus reload plus handling.
Oh,
Okay.
Which is interesting. Reload and
Yeah.
handling is nice.
Yeah.
Updated some other perks that refer to reserves in a way that's no longer accurate. And there are some notes further down in here about Fighting Lion and Sweet Business. Because, dear Lord,
Yeah.
someone with infinite Fighting Lion just shooting. Pew, pew,
I love
Yeah.
it.
Sounds great. And then also it says here, target farming trials weapons is much more efficient in season 15. And we have some cool new perks for others to play, for players to play with that we wanted to put on trials weapons. So all trials weapons available in season 15 now have 7 perks in each column. Was
Oh, wow.
5.
That's a tease. Yeah.
Yeah.
People thought it might be today, but they did say previously that they were going to talk trial stuff on the 24th, I think.
They did,
So,
yeah. They said they're going to mention they're going to talk about the trials rework on the 24th. So it's
Cool.
it's exciting. Next we're talking about when max power level weapons on power levels on weapons launched, we reissued several weapons. We saw how frustrated players were having to regrind their favorite roles since the perk pools hadn't changed. Based on that, our reissue guidelines from season 13 onwards were to replace most of those perks. Turns out that was an overcorrection and that certain perks in the original pools had become part of the identity of a weapon. So moving forward, the guidelines for reissues will be to remove the least useful 2 to 3 perks and add 2 to 3 newer perks that give the weapon some new options and may result in entirely new top tier roles without removing old ones.
That's a pretty
Cool.
significant and dope change, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
a
really
big
good.
deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super happy about that.
Yeah.
We've added some small adjustments to the weapons reissued in the 3.2.1 update to move these in the direction of the new reissue guidelines. And if you're wondering why our community managers were asking for everyone's favorite roles, now you know. So if you put a stupid role as a suggestion, it was your fault.
I just want everything to stop having osmosis and adrenaline junkie, but
There are a lot of adrenaline junkies.
yeah, and they took Outlaw and Rampage and Kill Clip off like everything, which is
They did. That
great.
definitely was the thing that upset lots of people
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And like Snapshot and stuff was gone for some
Mhm.
from things. Okay. And then they said added 1 or 2 of the original perks to each column for the Luna weapons reissued, i.e. the Lectern weapons only. Since these can be target farmed, we're okay with increasing the size of the perk pools in this case. Added 1 of the original perks to 1 or both columns for the Dreaming City weapons, which is Tiger's Bite, Twilight Oath, and Abide the Return. And since these can't be target farmed yet, we didn't want to increase the size of the pools by more than 1. So it's good that they're looking at all of that stuff to update it and give you more options for perks, more ways to target farm. That's nice.
It is. It's really nice.
Next, we're talking about archetypes. So I will do this part, and then once you guys are going to have to fight to the death to become the fusion rifle.
I think you should just hand it off like a newscaster.
Just I need to bring up like a random generator where I put in words and it picks someone. Maybe chat can pick.
Well, Paul wanted
Who do you guys
fusion
want
rifles.
to read? That's true. We should have Paul.
So he's
Chat
doing
can pick.
fusion
I'll
rifles.
abide by chat's vote. If they want someone else.
So first things first, we are talking about breach grenade launchers because they're being an increasing pain point in PvP. You don't say.
Really?
Strange. So they have reduced the blast radius by 0.4 meters. Example, max blast radius decreased from 4.55 meters to 4.15. Minimum blast radius decreased from 3.8 to 3.4. So a little bit of a nerf there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is worth noting that before people start getting angry, these are for PvP and they've made adjustments for PvE for grenade launchers. And I will read it to you. Just want people to calm down because I can see people getting upset. Reduce splash damage by 20, which reduces total damage for a direct hit from 220 to 200 before taking spike or proximity grenades into account. They've increased damage in PvE by 12%, and that's because of the above splash damage change, resulting in small overall buff to combined damage. And with a horde is unaffected.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
really
interesting.
glad that we're at the point where they know they don't just want to nerf a thing for PvP and have it be awful in PvE, because they say they like where grenade launchers are in PvE.
Yeah.
So they're
It used
doing
to do that a lot. It's
Yes,
good
they
they're moving
did.
away from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Well,
are
they really
moving
seem
it
to
away.
have separated the sandboxes more over the last year or so.
Oh,
They've
yeah,
definitely
for sure.
been working on it to separate them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Last year and a half seems a lot of work has been done on that.
Yeah. Machine guns are getting their damage increased in PvE by 20%.
That's needed.
Can anyone say Thunderlord meta?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
With the
point.
stun that it does, because you're just like constantly hitting them with lightning. It can be pretty good. Scout rifles and hand cannons are getting increased damage versus miners by 15%. So the reason that you don't really want to be using certain weapons in PvE is you can't one-shot headshot the little baby enemies.
The
which
thralls
is
and stuff. Right?
silly.
Little
So I
dregs.
believe this is going to make it to where you can do that with scouts and hand cannons. It's
Cool.
going to be lovely.
I thought it
Makes
was going
sense.
to be just precision, but it's everything. So that's helpful.
It is.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fusion rifles are
All
indeed
right.
next. Paul, take it
I
away.
got 2 votes, so I'm going to take that. and
All
run with it. All right. So fusion rifles have benefited indirectly from the mid-season 14 shotgun nerf, but fusion rifle subfamilies weren't as different from each other as we wanted and weren't all useful in a variety of content. So we looked at all of the options we had for diversifying them and ended up with some substantial changes. This isn't intended to be a global buff to fusion rifles, but we expect some of these to be better counters to other weapons than they were previously. Note that we also evaluated some other options which are worth a bit of discussion. Given the projectile's travel time, we did like the idea of this behavior in Destiny 1, but on investigation found there are networking issues with firing rapid bursts of non-hit scan projectiles, and they didn't play as well as we wanted them to. We may look at this option again in the future, aka Telesto messed something up.
Wait a minute. So
Um,
the netcode was having issues with projectiles in the game?
Fusion rifles are
Is that why
so
Drake's Promise can't
weird.
come
Yeah.
back? Is that why?
We'll go with that. Yeah.
That's just the
No.
strangest thing ever. Destiny having problems with the netcode?
All right. Burst rate of fire. This would have meant touching design data and audio for every fusion rifle we've ever shipped, well beyond the scope we wanted for this change, and also not that interesting a change. That's fair
True.
enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Increased PvE bonus such that all subfamilies have a 15% PvE bonus. Previously, high impact was 0, precision and adaptive were 10%, and rapid fire was 12.5.
Nice.
Did not know that, but
Oh.
that sounds very good.
hmm
Love it.
But there's some nerfs in other areas, so it might offset that a bit. Push subfamilies further apart, adjusting charge time. Shots fired per burst was 7 for all subfamilies, and damage. Note that the base below means without battery perks, a charge time masterwork, or the adept charge time mod. I remember first reading this, getting very
naked gun.
excited they were going to fix the charge time masterwork, and yet, spoilers, they don't really. So, high impacts are kind of getting nerfed. High impacts charge slower and while still strong, require more planning to use effectively. Base charge time increased from 0.86 seconds to 1 second. Shots per burst reduced from 7 to 5, reduced total damage per burst. In playtesting, we found that charging these in the open is super risky, but pre-charging around corners or otherwise in safety is very effective. With reduced shots per burst, these are now less reliant on stability, so can stack a bit more range.
And I think that charge time is the same as Devil Ruin's fusion rifle charge. The sidearm.
Oh,
Interesting.
I think that's the same charge time.
that's pretty
I
long.
believe. It's pretty long.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely catching a bit bit of a heavy nerf, but yeah, if you can charge it and play that way where you're behind cover and you pre-charge and then you come out and map people like crazy,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah,
there just weren't that many reasons to use a lot of the other ones over
True.
high impact much of the time.
True.
This really is a severe nerf, though, right? It's going to take longer to charge. It's going to shoot less bursts.
Yeah.
And each burst is going to do less damage.
It's definitely a nerf for sure in PvP.
Definitely.
PvE, that might come out with a little more damage overall, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
And some of these other perks had to get changed too.
I think that feeling of going from 0.86 to 1 second is going to, if you're used to shooting high impacts, I think you're definitely going to notice that. It's going to throw you off for a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What you won't notice, precisions and adaptives are close to unchanged. Base charge time is unchanged. Shots per burst is unchanged at 7. Very slightly increased total damage per burst. In playtesting, we feel these are very effective all around without stepping on the niches of high impact and rapid fires. I'll be keeping a good plug 1.1 for PvP.
Plug 1 is my baby. It's great.
I really do love plug 1.
It's great.
Both PvP and PvE. Rapid fire charges faster, allowing them to be used reactively against charging enemies or aggressively when pushing forward. Base charge time decreased from 0.5 or 54 seconds to 0.46 seconds. Shots per burst increased from 7 to 9. Increased total damage per burst. In playtesting, we found these are very effective against shotgun rushers. The combination of them needing to be closer and you having a shorter charge time work well together. And if you have good enough timing, you can fire 2 bursts with a rapid fire before a high impact user finishes charging their first. Woof. That's quite the disparity.
Seriously. But look, I mean, 0.46. So yeah, you really could
Kind of
get 2 rounds
exciting.
off.
Under a second.
Yeah.
Kind of exciting.
With the increased shots per burst, these are now more reliant on stability, but with the increased damage, they're less reliant on range.
It's
Interesting.
this gets me excited because it's kind of introducing a run and gun fusion rifle class,
Yeah.
which has kind of been missing. That we got a taste of it with cornered being put in as a perk. So if you're around a bunch of people, it does charge incredibly fast, and you can kind of run and gun with it. But I really like that there's these different classes of fusions. One's like you play much further back, you plan carefully, and you charge it up, and the other one is you can kind of run around and slap fools.
Is null composure rapid fire? I don't remember.
I believe so.
Okay, so that's a big one. And then the only other one I remember is Cartesian coordinate. And are there any more? I don't remember anymore.
Let's see.
My guess is that we're going to get a new one, like as a seasonal weapon. Would be my guess, just because there aren't that many, and this is a lot of changes. So it'd be weird to only have 2.
It's going to be something that people are going to want to at least try out. And if it ends up being as good as it looks, people are going to be farming this pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. It's exciting.
Parts of this work required adjusting several fusion rifle perks in one mod. Backup Plan's implementation was incompatible with the fusion rifle changes, and we felt like the perk could use a rework anyway. Removed plus 100 to charge time stat, adjusted charge time multiplier from 0.85 to 0.7, now scales damage by 0.8. I don't really know what that means, but I think instead of a flat thing, it's like it depends on the weapon, something like that.
Does it no longer increase your charge time stat?
No, it does, because it's charge time multiplier.
Okay.
So I think it still does, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense because they're saying they removed the plus 100 and then they adjusted charge time multiplier. So I guess
I think
it does.
maybe flat plus 100 would have been too good on like rapid fire. Like
now,
it just would have been like instantaneous.
You would have just instantly bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
Right. And now, does this mean it gives it an extra 70% on the charge time when it gets activated because of 0.7?
I'm gonna go ahead and not know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really understand that part. Okay, liquid coils and accelerated coils needed a rework for similar reasons. Both converted to scale charge time and damage instead of modifying the charge time stat. Okay, so it's something to do with how charge time is linked to damage. Because like the faster charge time, the less damage, which is why the charge time masterwork does what it does.
Exactly.
Which we're about to get to. So we'll see. The final effect is much the same as before, but these are now more robust. However, they won't visibly change the charge time stat in the inspection screen.
Okay.
Real quick,
that'd be nice if it did.
Yeah, in chat, Zemnis put a really like minus 70% charge time, but only does 80% of the max damage. So that's very clear.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it reduces charge time significantly, but by 70% instead of 85%. But you lose a max damage output on it. So
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. And Zemnis is a real engineer, so I trust Zemnis.
there you go.
The adept charge time mod felt pointless, and we felt like it would still be balanced against other mods if it didn't reduce damage. Change functionality to scale charge time directly instead of changing the charge time stat without adjusting the damage. So that's a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A note on charge time masterwork. It's like 3 paragraphs about this. A fusion rifle's damage is determined by its charge time stat, similar to how most other weapons' damage is determined by their rate of fire stat. Masterworks can only increase weapon stats for performance reasons, so it's not possible to change how charge time maps onto damage without big changes to how the charge time stat works. We investigated doing this by making the Masterwork a perk, but this would cause fusion rifles to exceed the perk budget, resulting in capital bad things happening, as mentioned in a prior THWAB. Too many perks breaks everything.
It does.
With the fusion rifle rework, we feel that this Masterwork is more viable. It now rarely reduces bolts to kill, so may not feel like a downgrade in the same way as before. Okay. We'll be watching to see how this plays out and have some options to address the issue if that's still needed.
That's good. I love that they do this a lot now where they're like, we know this could maybe be a problem. We have some ideas. We have some stuff like ready to ship out if things get bad. And they seem to be doing that pretty often.
Yeah.
Now.
My favorite was with Nova Warp. They're like, we buffed this a ton, so we're going to watch that. And then I have a feeling they're going to do the same with the Mythoclast later on here. Adjusted the fusion rifle stat order so it matches other weapons, stability and handling are out of order. Never noticed that. This is a big change to fusion rifles, including all exotic fusions. So we'll be watching for any major issues and we'll make tweaks as needed. And then they
Season of the fusions, baby.
Yeah. Then they go and change a bunch of fusions in the next section. So
it is interesting. They're not. They're sticking with hit scan. For all
I guess
they
it
also
just caused
said
too many problems not to.
Right. I like that they actually said like, hey, we actually tried to look at going back to D1 and it wasn't working because of issues with it. So that's great. I like that transparency. Yeah.
It sounds good. I'm happy to hear that, like we had with hand cannons, they're just getting a bit more of an identity between each one. And like they kind of had it before, of course, like, you won't be able to map people as far with a rapid fire than you would with a high impact, but this feels a bit more intentional of different traits.
Yes, it does. However, I still feel like one of them is going to come out on top and be like, well, this is clearly the fusion archetype. You know?
Ideally, you live in a world where each of the 3 like classes of fusion rifles has its own identity and has like players who prefer that role or that style of play. But you're generally right. It's like one gets picked up by the best players and everybody just assumes that because the best players use it, it's for me as well.
I don't mind if one archetype thing or one subsection of archetype becomes the dominant type for a while, because I think it's interesting to have seasons like that of it rotating. So maybe their intention is to shift away from these high impact and go more towards the fast charging time ones.
It's almost inevitable. Like it's so rare to see like all types balanced across the individual weapon class. Like that rarely happens. So.
Yeah, exactly. Plus 9 bolts. That's insane.
Yeah, it's interesting because the rapid fire has been trashed pretty much forever. And now it seems like they're going to be able to do some good stuff.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see, right?
We'll see. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The prospect is exciting.
It's exciting.
Should
Paul, you want to toss exotics?
Is it Tefty's time or is it Briar's? Who's exotic?
I'll take exotics.
I was going to take a few.
We're going to fight for this?
There's Anarchy. I'll take these next 3. I'll take these next 3 because I love
it.
I love these 3. Okay. Anarchy is getting hit.
Yep.
The king, the Anarchy king. All right. So it's been dominant for years. We're ignoring the season with the Sweet Grenade Launcher artifact mod, of course, being near mandatory for certain raid bosses, as well as excelling as a solo weapon and ad clears and encounters. We like that it's a great choice for hard solo content and trapping enemy spawns, choke points, but don't want it to remain part of a dominant tactic for boss damage, and particularly don't want it to be great for boss damage and ad clears in a single encounter. With this change, we expect it to remain strong without being borderline usable as a primary weapon. So they are reducing the total reserve plus magazine ammunition from 26 to 16.
Dang,
That's
that's a
10
big cut.
That
shots.
is a big hit.
It did have a ton of ammo.
It did have a
considering
lot
You just
of-
need like
I-
2 shots and then,
True. Yes, it did have a ton of ammo, but like that's a pretty significant cut. That's
It is.
like 40% or something like that. Reduced damage by 30% versus bosses. And then it notes champions are not bosses. So champions will still get the full damage, but bosses in general, they felt like there was just too much tick damage happening. Too many people were soloing difficult content with the Anarchy. And they said, no.
Yeah, I think I would still want to use this in like GMs or anything with a lot of champions, because Anarchy is really good against champions.
Mhm.
Like it's really good. So I think instead of it now, it went from a jack of all trades, just take me into any activity and I'll do whatever you want, to maybe you want to have like a high damaging sniper and you have Anarchy as like to kill champions or something. So it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's definitely a nerf, obviously, but I think it's still going to be pretty good in its place.
The only thing is like the ammo reserves only make a difference when you're on high level content. Like if you're doing a raid that you're in contest level, that's when ammo actually counts because you have less of it, or like GMs or something like that. So in normal content, who cares? You're gonna find ammo. It's fine. Like if you're running out a bit, but when you're doing high level content, then all those reserves really count. So it's gonna do less.
I think they're just doing this specifically to counter Anarchy dual slug shotgun. Like they just wanted to destroy that utterly because it's such a very specific thing for so many specific bosses. Like I think that was their main goal, without like just like totally ruining Anarchy, overall.
True. Moving on, Xenophage was already top notch, so it didn't need to benefit from the global machine gun buff. It does benefit from the damage per bullet buff to machine guns, but now has a slower rate of fire to compensate, resulting in slightly slower damage per second, but higher burst damage and sustained damage, since it's now more ammo efficient. So it's getting reduced from 120 RPM to 90 RPM, which I'm not sure that might be a lot.
So the difference is like 120 is like a 120 hand cannon, right? Like an Igneous.
Yeah.
And then 90 is like an Uzume sniper.
Yeah. What's Ariana's value?
Ariana's. I am not sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully I have one on me.
It seems a lot. It kind of further.
It's a big difference for sure.
It further puts it into a scout.
Ariana is 90.
It is 90. Okay, I was like, is that Ariana? Because that feels even more like a scout rifle now. It's like a fake machine gun, or it's a fake scout rifle, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like its own thing. Yeah, it's just a giant scout rifle.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's better now for just like big beefy damage all in one, instead of having like smaller damage fast firing.
So when I use it in PvE, I'm always just like single targets. I'm usually only using one shot at a time. So this is basically a buff for a lot of ad clearing,
Yeah.
But for general boss damage, it's a nerf, because you're not doing as much DPS. It's also receiving less of the machine gun PvE damage buff. I mean, they said that about the per.
It makes sense because it was 30%.
Yeah.
Imagine Xenophage with a 30% damage buff.
No, it's 20.
Yeah.
But
it's 20?
Yeah. So that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. It's still going to be a great weapon. I'll end up using it more like a scout rifle, even more so now.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Fighting Lion. Everyone's beloved, the grenade launcher that everyone loves. Fighting Lion has always been fun, but not dominant in PvE. Yes, it has been. It's been dominant in PvE. Come on.
I don't think so.
So we weren't worried about the impact about infinite ammo. I forgot about infinite ammo in this gun. Fascinating. Yes. However, enabling fast, unlimited grenade spamming was too much in PvP based on internal tests. So we've addressed that specific case without significantly impacting its feel in PvE. Fighting Lion reserve ammo increased from a lot to infinite. Yes. Receives the same changes as other breach grenade launchers. Reduced base reload stat to 0. Breach grenade launchers with 0 reload stat, they reload very, very slowly. Now increases reload speed to its previous level on damaging multiple enemies with 1 grenade. So, if you're getting your shots in, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Get your ad clear. You should be all right.
Yeah, if you're good, you're good. No worries. We'll be keeping an eye on this, but believe it's in a good place with this change. And note that we're not going to over nerf an exotic with its own subreddit. Thank you, Bungie. You shouldn't be. And also says you shouldn't be manually reloading Fighting Lion anyway. Kind of calling
There
out
you go.
people right there.
Kind of just said it's
That
going to be
was-
fine. Get good.
Yeah, literally, I get good in the
I'm hurt
THWAB.
by that.
If you find yourself unable reloading slow, you've done it wrong. Let's see. Briar?
Is this Briar's part now? Briar wants
You
the
wanna take the Vex?
Mythoclast, right?
The next part, since we're okay. Next part is Vex Mythoclast. Paul, why don't you read about the Vex Mythoclast?
Okay.
Is that because it's a fusion rifle? Are we keeping up with
Technically,
Paul
there's a whole lot more fusion
fusion
rifles
Tassie?
in the list here. That's fine.
Oh yeah, actually,
Okay.
there's like 4 fusion rifles.
There's a
I
lot.
was like, I
Because
gotta
it's a
read questions
fusion.
later. I don't need to read the THWAB. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, Vex Mythoclast. We were cautious with tuning this one at launch, knowing that shipping a dominant weapon that has incredibly low ownership would break PvP and aimed for balanced, but erring on the side of not letting it ship too strong, like the original.
Right.
However, it fell short of balanced. Ownership is much higher now. Not high enough for some people, and there's no buff listed here. And we
Interesting.
want it to be strong enough to be a desirable reward from Vault of Glass. PvE damage bonus increased by around 40%. Which
That's a lot.
that's a whole lot.
That's pretty
like
big.
a Borderlands buff, as I call it.
Yeah.
Range stat increased to be near best in class for high impact auto rifles. Increased stability stat. That was a big problem.
Yep.
Reworked catalyst to grant stability and damage after a kill. So I gotta go get that catalyst now. Increased rate of fire from 360 to 390. Reduced linear fusion rifle mode charge time from 820 to 553. That's
God
a
damn.
giant decrease. Same as
Wow.
standard linear fusion rifles. And no longer loses overcharge stacks on stow except when in linear fusion rifle mode.
Wow.
This is the
Good
most
lord.
insane buff I've ever seen, I think, in Destiny. This is
I-
absolutely insane.
There
I
are
really want
1,
this thing to be
2,
good.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different bullet points of buffs for this single weapon.
Right? They're all significant too.
And they're
They
big too,
are.
yeah. Like they're
They're big.
giant.
Do you think they just felt bad about it coming out? Kind of meh.
Yeah,
Maybe,
apparently.
although I foresee this kind of being a shit show. Like if the drop rates kind of remain where they are and people are starting to go like Eyes of Tomorrow 60 clears without one, and then it's like the thing now that everyone wants, I can see that going poorly.
It
Our drop
definitely
rate's
needed
really
a
low for
buff. I was not expecting this though.
People think the drop rates are like kind of as low as Eyes of Tomorrow used to be, and that whole system kind of maybe is still bugged based on I don't know the data coming in, but it's always kind of a mystery. But all right, I'll just keep going. With fusions, Merciless, we had to touch this anyway because of the fusion rifle changes, and figured if we're in there, we might as well make a buff we've been thinking about. Updated perk to account for fewer shots per burst, should build up charge rate at the same amount per burst as before. Reduce the damage penalty for increasing charge rate by 40%. So that's
pretty good.
significant.
Because Merciless
Merciless,
had its
yeah.
moment where it was used for in Leviathan. You used it for certain encounters
bathers.
for
Yeah.
damage. Yeah, bathers.
Yeah, I remember in Vanilla there was like a 2-month stretch where it was like, Merciless, the best new exotic, and then
Yeah.
it
Yep.
did not last long. But
So this is gonna. I will definitely try this out in PVE. Like it's pretty big.
Jotun, because of how the charge time set works with the fusion rifle changes, we made a small change to avoid breaking this weapon. In playtesting, it makes almost no difference, but if I didn't mention it, someone would notice. Reduce charge time from
Fallout.
0.8
Yeah,
to
Fallout.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's 0.78 seconds, i.e. charges 0.04 seconds faster. Yeah, that's the Fallout you would notice.
Yeah.
Slightly reduced damage per shot. So we don't have a percent on that, but yeah, no huge surprise there.
Cool.
Then we have Bastion, which is getting a PvP nerf. Bastion feels very strong with shotguns being less dominant, so we're preemptively adjusting it in PvP. It's also super low usage in PvE, so we're buffing it there too. Reduce damage by 15%, so now you can't quite kill a Guardian with one shot in the 3-round burst it fires. So that's a pretty big nerf on its own.
It is, yeah.
Then increase spread angle by 10%. And then increase PvE damage by 25%. So overall, a 10% increase in PvE.
You're
Wait,
still
increasing the spread angle. That makes
Yeah.
it shoot wider, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's still going to be most likely when you come up against a Bastion in PvP and they are charged, you're probably still dead because
Yes.
most likely the three bursts are going to hit you. But it does stop the like killing a Titan wall and then killing them behind it, maybe.
Right.
Because Bastion could do that.
Mhm.
Well, you could get one shot off before their second shot lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, like I think everyone forgot also that they gave it intrinsic unstoppable, and now all
It
fusions
does,
have
yeah.
unstoppable this season. So I guess you can do it for free and you don't need to put the mod in. But, and then there is no listing for Telesto. So I guess Telesto is going to work
they
perfectly
deleted it.
with all these fusion changes. Yeah, or they just deleted it.
They're like,
Oh,
what?
man.
Telesto.
We're
Yeah,
going to
I don't have a
log
gun
in
like
and
that.
it's going to be like, due to an issue, Telesto is
Yep.
not here. It's
Never
gone.
heard of it. What are you
Never
talking
heard of it.
about?
What's that?
Telesto stayed in the previous seasons.
Yes. So now
Also,
we only
any
have
video showing
This is
Telesto on YouTube
business.
is now copyright strike.
It's getting DMCA'd.
And then finally, Sweet Business's perk refilling the magazine when picking up primary no longer works in a world without primary ammo, so it's been adjusted. Now refills magazine on picking up special or heavy instead of primary. Probably a nerf overall, as I imagine there is less of that around, but probably not going to make or break the weapon either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
There's no primary ammo to pick up, so obviously they had to do something.
Yep.
I do always have massive respect for a guy who's walking around in PvP
Me too.
with a sweet business. I'm like, oh, this dude's rocking the sweet business. Hell yeah, dude. Go get him.
That's funny. And then there is a small perk section. I'll just do the perks and then stop.
Okay.
Perks, firing line. We like the idea of the perk. It was just giving away a bit too much damage for almost free. Reduced damage bonus to 20% precision damage for all supported weapon archetypes. Was highly variable depending on weapon type. We'll roll on some sniper rifles, linear fusion rifles, and machine guns, and maybe some other stuff in the future. I thought that was weird because like there's just
Machine
not
guns.
that many things that have it right now. So
Has there ever
Guess
been a
they're-
machine gun one? Is that new?
yeah, no, there is one.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it is, but I know at least one it did roll on. Maybe the Moon one or the Vex one from that season. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But, and
That's
then,
this is pretty so it's pretty good for like if you have a hand cannon that has one of those perks on it and you get kill clip. It's gonna be pretty nice in PvP actually. I think that's gonna be pretty good. That might be fun.
Sure. Yeah.
certain damage perks only affect impact damage on explosive weapons. We've updated these specific perks to also increase detonation damage. Kill clip, rampage,
Yeah.
adrenaline junkie.
That's nice.
That is very
And-
nice.
This is one tiny little sentence that Rick Kakis pointed out to me is kind of a big deal. We also fixed incorrect rarity on some recently shipped weapon perks. So this is confirmation that weapon perks do have rarity based on, I think, how good they are, which is why you see, I don't know,
All the shitty
adrenaline
ones on
junkie
my
on
weapons.
every single weapon.
Yeah. They're weighted as they
Um,
drop.
Yeah, I guess that was always kind of guessed at, but this is the first time I've really seen that said out loud, unless I missed something.
They saying that the chat is saying that DMG tweeted about it.
Today?
Apparently, I don't know where exactly.
I blame
but
I
that's
blame
what
Rick.
chat-
I
that's
blame
what
Rick
chat
for
is
this.
saying.
Okay, let it be known that I'm disavowing Rick and I retract everything I just said. Okay. What does it mean though? I guess I don't really understand what it means.
I
though,
am
if it doesn't
currently
mean-
You want me to read it
trolling
from-
through Twitter.
DMG said from the team, the rarity things refers to common, legendary, etc. That thing was incorrectly set in the season 14 perk, so they were showing up as a gray instead of purple.
I see.
We literally never changed the weighting of individual perks on a weapon. Apologies for confusion. I guess certain things were
I still
listed.
don't understand. Why are some of these purple and why are some of these gray? What does that do? What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Still a little confusing.
It's just they said it's just the text color is what he also said. So when
Okay,
you
so
look
this is
at
not
like,
important, is
it's
what I'm-
not,
what I'm
it
hearing.
is
All right.
not important
Okay.
at all. Not
Cool.
important.
In the
It's just when you're
database, in the
looking-
database, it's listed as common when it actually might be legendary.
They're not
or
referring
perk.
to drop rates. They're just referring to what the text looks like on the
in the
screen.
database.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And if anyone is asking why it is mentioned, that's because if they do not, someone will say, "Why is this not mentioned?" So it's better to just mention everything in your patch notes.
Mercules.
right.
It's better to just mention everything in a patch note, even if only one person cares about it.
Yeah. Moving on, we got some visual effects stuff. Weapon
Let's
VFX
do it.
were all custom, and some didn't meet our desired cool factor. So they've rebuilt some of these, specifically updated all grenade launcher and rocket launcher visual effects. I hope the rocket launchers are just bombastic. You know, just
Yeah, I hope it looks really cool.
Yeah, I hope it looks real cool.
incoming nuke. You know, hell yeah.
Yes. I want to see mushroom clouds.
the screen should darken in anticipation of the brightness from the explosion.
Do you remember when he used to get nukes in what game was it? I think it was Black Ops where the screen went dark and like
Yeah.
they started going beep 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 like incoming nuke.
Yeah, I
Gonna
want
get
that.
25 kills in
That's
a row.
what happens
awesome.
when a guardian picks up Wardcliff Coil.
That would be amazing. Invading in Gambit. Yep. Legendary fusion and linear fusion rifles now have distinct damage type charge visual effects. So, okay, cool.
Cool.
And then moving on. Near future, we're devoting a lot of energy to the Witch Queen expansion, and there are a ton of things changing in a few weeks. So we want to see how things shake out before deciding on further tuning. We'll be watching season 15 launch closely and are ready to make some small adjustments as needed in the first half of the season. So if something is broken unintentionally or performing way too aggressively, or hopefully if something's performing really crappily, they're able to fix that too. You know, because a lot of times it's like, oh, this is too good, we need to reduce it, as opposed to this weapon sucks. Let's fix that. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. The more distant future, but still before the Witch Queen, linear fusion rifles and caster frame swords are still not where they want to be. So expect some tweaks. Interesting how they're not happy with linear fusions just yet. We are also looking at underused and underpowered exotics, and we'll be taking a pass at some of them, including Arbalist, Suro's Regime, Cryosthesia 77k, Malfeasance, and more.
Malfeasance gets me excited.
Yeah, that was always an interesting one.
It's such a cool gun, and it's got such a unique perk on it, and I would love for it to just be good.
Yeah. I
It's
guess
fine, but it's not great.
I guess this kind of answers my hope for them fixing stuff that isn't as good either. What I just said about if they find stuff.
Boy, they really made you eat your shoe on that one, huh?
Pretty much.
God damn.
Thanks, Bungie.
Oh, you coming a mile away.
If you have issues with the spamming high rate of fire semi-automatic weapons as fast as possible, we've got something in the works for you.
This is actually really cool because there's a lot of people who have maybe something, there's a disability or arthritis. I am old now, so maybe I might need this soon. You can't make use of those weapons properly. So it's cool that they're doing something to make all people be able to enjoy those weapons.
I think it's just gonna be an auto fire, like hold the trigger down and it'll just auto fire.
I don't know.
I literally thought they were saying it as if you have issue with them being used on you in the Crucible. We have something coming for you.
We're just nerfing semi-autos.
That's actually how I
That's
read
what
it
we're
and took it as. I was like, oh, interesting. This is kind of calling out those people. And then they also say priming a target and quickly swapping for a cleanup is easier than we'd like. And we're looking at options for building towards faster swap speeds. We've got a step at hitting both of these points coming.
Wait, what? I don't
really understand that one.
The reason it makes no sense is because they're like, priming a target and quickly swapping is too easy. So we're looking to make it faster.
It's too
So,
fast.
It's
We're
also
making it fast.
it's also
It
worded
says
extremely
building
weird.
towards faster swap speeds. So I think what they're saying is you will have to specifically build like with mods or something in order to get to like a very fast swap level. It is
Got
worded
it.
kind of
That makes sense.
Yeah, but
I
and
think
also
that's
the
what they
end,
mean.
we've got a step at hitting both of these points coming. Like it's a little strange how this worded, but like
It is worded.
The takeaway from that though is if you're used to the swap speed things you have right now, get ready for that to get taken away, and you're gonna have to
build into it.
You're gonna have to
building
build towards
dexterity
that.
mods and whatever. Yeah,
Exactly, to have that. Yep.
That's good. That makes
I'll take
more
the
varied.
guns part, so you guys can rest. That's
I
next.
like this
You
because
got
it
one
makes
more
for
thing
more
first.
varied builds, right? It's like if you
It does,
really
yeah.
rely
Wow.
on that, then you're gonna want to build into it.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized is we're gonna have so many less mods now with all the ammo thing, with all like primary hand cannon reserves and
That's
like
true.
scavenge. Like, there's gonna be so many less mods with no primary ammo, which
Yeah.
I'm guessing is one of the reasons they wanted to do that too. They didn't mention that, but
Moving on, Witch Queen and Beyond. So this is maybe February or March of next year. We don't know the actual release date yet. We've talked previously about wanting legendary weapons to have more identity based on their source, and expect to ship a new system for this in or close to the Witch Queen.
That's exciting.
This
A
is
new
very
system.
exciting.
Very
A new
interesting.
system.
I don't know what this means. What does this mean? What did you interpret this to mean?
So they want more identity from where it drops from. So it could mean, like, you know how you get something from the raid, there's maybe stuff, that perks that are related towards that raid for how they're operating. I could see it being more along the lines of that, but more broad for the whole thing. Like if it's something that's for PvE and strikes, maybe they could make something perk wise that stand out for that. Like possibly that's what it means. One
that makes sense.
interpretation.
I was thinking visuals and like going back to like all the Gambit weapons look like this instead of like the worldly pool, but I think what you're saying probably makes more sense.
They already do it visually, kind of more or less, right? But
yeah, except for the world pool and the crucible things, but yeah, like raids and stuff, obviously, yes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would hope it's more based on, like, if it came from a certain source, it functions, or it has inherent intrinsic perks that are good for stuff with that. I hope, because I
see this
like
as
that
being a huge benefit of, if I want to play PvP, then I should get the guns that are best in PvP. If I play PvE, I should get the guns that are best in PvE in PvP or PvE, right? I don't want to like
PvP.
We had different letters. It is really exhausting to keep saying that.
Yeah. In Season 15, we tweak exotic primary weapons to generate ammo faster through ammo finder mods. And we have another change planned to make them more enticing in hard PvE content.
No,
Cool.
right.
I thought that was the buff, so there's another buff.
There's more.
Yeah, there's more buff coming. Interesting.
That's cool.
That's all we've got for weapon changes for now. We're looking forward to seeing how the PvP and PvE metas shape up once you all have your hands on them next week. Signed,
Man,
Chris.
all these THWABs are
they've been beefy lately, huh?
They have made it to where next season we're going to be playing pretty differently, both with our abilities, our classes, our weapons.
Yeah, sandbox is very different.
Our mods. I think it's going to feel pretty fresh across the board. Very exciting.
All right, well, let's take it away. Guns.
Guns. Guns. You know what's funny as well? They are not talking about what the next season is at all. There's
not a word.
I love that. And
I love it.
Really, yeah, it's like the name hasn't leaked. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We are still holding a lot of the details on Season of the Redacted close to the chest, including the new Season 15 arsenal you will start to discover next week. We do want to show off some of the other weapons you will be earning next season. Next season's Ritual Quest weapon is a rocket launcher with the Explosive Light perk. As in the custom, you can collect them from Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard with themed ornaments.
Cool.
So it's Explosive Light. Did Wendigo have that?
Yeah, that was Wendigo. So it blinds and stacks damage on orbs. Is that what Explosive Light was?
A Wendigo rocket launcher.
Yeah, picking up. Yep, light. Orbs of
But
light.
rockets are only one in the chamber, you would think. And Wendigo was like
has two.
Yeah, because Wendigo had like you would load it up with orb shots in a magazine. I don't know. I'm just curious how it'll work. On
I'm
curious,
intrigued how it's gonna work. We are adding 3 weapons as post-game rewards for completing Vanguard strikes, Gambit, and Crucible matches. These will drop randomly after completing, same as Frozen Orbit, etc. And it looks like we got a scout, an auto rifle, and a sidearm. So the sidearm is from strikes. Auto, I assume, is from Crucible, and then the scout from Gambit.
From Gambit, yeah.
Looks like it.
Cool.
Now the most exciting part that we've all been waiting for.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
We also have plans to freshen up the loot pool of the Prophecy Dungeon. We've seen a lot of feedback to bring forward weapons original from the Trials of the Nine and thought that adding these to the Nine-themed dungeon was a great fit. These weapons have been upgraded with random rolls, and certain ones will drop from specific encounters in the Prophecy Dungeon. So they're not bringing all of them back at once, but they are bringing back a fair amount of them. So
That's a lot.
there is a lot. There's
Yeah.
the pulse rifle, which Darkest Before was, I think, a lot of our favorite weapons.
A lot of people
Darkest
are saying
Before is
that
great.
they
That's a
don't think
good
it's
weapon.
Darkest Before. They think it's a high impact.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, there's been a few people have tweeted me saying it's the other one. I don't know for sure. I haven't like compared images on that. Also, they're not saying that they're not going to bring back the other ones at some point either.
Right.
I see this as they might have a rotation each season of different stuff or something.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that being a thing. We've got the
That
the
It
auto
looks like
rifle.
Darkest Before to me.
It looks like
looks like
Darkest Before
to me
to
too. Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assumed
By
it was Darkest
looking at
Before,
it-
but at the same time, I haven't compared the two and said, well, maybe it is.
Yeah,
or
that
it
doing
does
it
look
isn't.
right
like
now.
Darkest
It
Before. I
looks
still
like it to
got
me.
mine, and I'm looking
I'm
at it.
saying it's Darkest Before.
Yeah.
We've also got the auto rifle, shotgun, hand cannon, sidearm. So I'm hoping, like you said, Tufty, that this is just kind of like we're bringing things back. So we're
Yeah.
just here's some stuff, and then
First
they'll
batch.
keep adding stuff.
Second batch, right? Yeah.
And I hope they keep doing this for dungeons in general. I know it makes
Mhm.
sense with the 9 weapons because of the theme, but I love them just adding new loot to existing content.
Same.
That is smart.
Mhm.
It's such a
Uh,
no-brainer for things like
Oh.
dungeons. Like, come on.
I'm so happy for this because so many people who are playing Destiny 2 right now have never had these weapons. You also
Mhm.
have people
Yeah.
who played on a different platform and then switched to PC and they don't have them either.
Yep.
So this is going to be great to get them with new perks because
Yeah.
these weapons all felt pretty good.
They did.
They're
Yeah.
all pretty
is.
solid guns in
Yep.
their class.
What was
What
the
if they
hand
make,
cannon?
what if
Was
they
it
make some of the
Judgment?
kinetic ones stasis
Oh,
instead of kinetic?
that'd be
I could see the
fun.
9 getting like
Interesting. Yeah.
dirty
That
with
would
some
be
stasis, but
really cool.
I remember the auto rifle was real good. I thought I liked the hand cannon too.
I like
although it wasn't
the
like
hand
top.
cannon.
yeah,
It wasn't
I
my
think-
favorite hand cannon, but it was pretty good.
See, a lot of these weapons they felt really good and they performed well, but their perks actually just weren't that good.
Hmm.
So it's kind of exciting to get all these new perks on it.
What was the hand cannon called? I can't remember. Was it Judgment?
There was Judgment and there was a 180 one.
Yeah.
But this I don't think is the 180. I don't have my game.
I must
up
have
to
deleted
compare.
Judgment at some point. I don't seem to have it anymore.
You should have it in your collections.
Anyhow,
Yeah. So that's very exciting. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be running lots of Prophecy Dungeon for sure. On top of all these weapons, we are also updating the world pool with some fresh
World.
drops. Here are new weapons you can expect to start seeing pop up in the wild. And I can't tell you what. Well, I guess I could. There's a sniper. There's a pulse rifle. There's an auto rifle. A
Skate
hand
block.
cannon.
Skate block.
It is.
Yeah.
it is.
Scathe lock, right? Yeah.
That's the only
This-
one I know.
Well, the hand cannon could be like Minuet or one of those ones. They
Oh,
all
I
thought it
have
was
that.
Minuet,
Minuet.
yeah.
Minuet was a
Similar body.
wonderful gun.
It was beautiful.
And well, this. I don't know what the new Monarchy one's called, but that's a hake. There's like barely
Yeah.
any hakes that exist anymore, so that's
Very
cool.
true.
Yeah.
And I think the Scout's Black Scorpion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Dead Orbit one. Wasn't it called
Yeah.
something else?
It was called something else. Yeah.
Mm.
And that's a pretty basic sidearm.
Maybe it's super cool. Maybe
Maybe.
it's awesome.
That's Zavala's
Maybe.
main gun.
It's like Zavala rocks up to a battle
Yeah.
with that one.
When he runs out of ammo out of his auto rifle from vanilla. I wish we
Um,
knew more about the Vice stuff, or more Vice weapons.
Yeah.
I always thought there was a cool
Or
manufacturer
the
that
forges, and maybe that's what they'll do. That's what factions are going to become at the foundries.
I would love a season that just. I know we had season the Forge, but like actual weapon forges that dug into like lore of the weapons that were put them in the game and all that.
I'd love that.
So now that factions are dead, we'll just start requesting weapon
Now-
manufacturer rallies
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
before
Exactly.
they kill them all off somehow, and then
they're honestly one of the coolest things about the game. These weapon forges. weapon manufacturers.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
a
they
bit
are.
of a shame that we don't have story dedicated to learning more about them. Like, why do all of the weapons that are the Suros type look like that?
Yeah.
Why is that? How did that happen?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Didn't we get that in Destiny 1?
Yeah.
Wasn't there some good Suros lore in particular?
There's always stuff that's hinted at things, like given it's not like super detailed. At least I don't think
I'll
it
have to
is.
get Mylan on again.
Yeah, exactly.
Mylan, tell us about the manufacturer.
What's
Give
the
us a
lore on
breakdown.
that? Next we have some relief efforts. So there's some charity stuff going on where you can get some really cool stuff both in game and out of game. So it says at Bungie, it's our mission to build worlds that inspire friendship, but we also realize that for the fortunate position we find ourselves in, and we believe in the power, compassion, and generosity of our community to amplify our efforts to reduce distress and suffering in the world. We believe that games can be a powerful force for good, and we believe it is our responsibility to use our voice and to support your desire to help those in need. The Bungie Foundation's mission is to put those beliefs to work. We are a people-focused organization that builds and empowers our community to improve the health and well-being of children, uplift the rights of all individuals and communities, and provide aid in times of crisis. So they are having partners in disaster relief, direct relief, and Team Rubicon. And they're doing profound, meaningful work around the globe to provide direct aid, agility, and expertise in response to the numerous humanitarian crises in the world. So we are going to have a couple things. So between now and September 1st, there's a few opportunities to help those around the world who are in need and get some incentives. So you have direct donations. So all donations to the Bungie Foundation will support the Disaster Relief Fund. And if you donate $25 plus, you'll receive the Anchor Point emblem. And you'll get that on September 9th.
Cool.
And it kind of looks like a Callus emblem.
A little bit. Yeah.
Gives me
Good
Callus vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Callus is back.
That made me want it more.
We also have the Guardians of Hope t-shirt. So you can pre-order the Guardians of Hope t-shirt from Team Rubicon's web store. And the Bungie Foundation will match up to $25,000. And it's
Cool.
it's a gray shirt that says, it's got shacks on it that says, "Your victory gives the city hope, Guardian." It's very cool. I like it a lot. And then every customer will receive the Vital Elixir emblem, which is a green and pinky purple. I don't know what it is. It's a thingamabob.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah.
a thingamabob.
It's got a.
It's an
I kinda
elixir.
like the way it looks.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it a lot. And then Bungie Store Initiative. All purchases from the Bungie Foundation collection will support the Disaster Relief Fund, and all purchases from this collection will receive the Planet of Peace emblem, which is the kind of Bungie blue with the hearts on it, with the Bungie symbols in the background.
That's the
Always
one I
loved.
like to rock the most. Is the
It's-
heart
It's great.
with the
cool.
blue background. I really appreciate that Bungie goes out of its way to do this kind of stuff, and I know
Yeah.
it doesn't really directly affect our in-game experience, but it does make me feel good about playing a game and supporting a company that goes out of its way to help so many people and does all these cool things. It really incentivizes its community to try and get out there and do some good. It doesn't have to come up with these new. Bungie doesn't have to come out with these new emblems and T-shirts and all this cool stuff all the time to try and help motivate their community to raise a little bit of money for real bad things that are going on in the world. And Bungie is just consistently doing this kind of stuff. And it, frankly, especially with all the news you hear about like Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, Riot, like every video game company, it seems like is just doing all sorts of bad shit. It's nice, it's just nice. It's a nice relief.
It is. It's I think Bungie has always done a good job with wanting to be better. And we've talked about the talks that Luke Timmons has done on stuff on their work to eradicating crunch in the company and all of the charity stuff. It definitely makes me feel good. Makes me happy. I feel like Bungie does try and do the best that they can.
When I'm buying a Bungie product, I never feel like, oh, I'm supporting some kind of awful shit that's going on in the industry, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, and I like that they support these charities, and I'm definitely gonna I definitely want that T-shirt. To be honest with you,
It was a cool
yeah,
shirt.
I want
Good shirt.
everything. And it's
I'll
so
take one of
easy to
each,
make the
please.
decision. It's like you made a cool emblem, and I get to give money to charity. All right, that's easy. You made a cool
Yeah.
shirt. Okay, cool. And then they just have Bungie artists. So I love that they did this. So they have the artists that worked on things throughout season of the Splicer.
Mhm.
So they've got a little kind of example of their work, and then they also have a link to their personal art stations or wherever they house their art. So
That's
if you
awesome.
That is really
the
cool.
names of the artists, it takes you to the art. So you can go take a look at other things that they've made. And I
love
love that.
ArtStation. So cool. It's a great rabbit hole. You can go down and you start.
It is.
There's a lot of Bungie artists on there. You can check out assets that they've made and high res versions of guns and all that. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's lovely. Go take a look through it. It's great. And then we're into redacted report update territory. So we can go over how things are gonna work. So Tuesday the 24th is of course our new season. And at 8 a.m., maintenance is going to begin. You don't care. You're watching the showcase. What are you doing at 8 a.m.?
Showcase,
You're watching
exactly.
the showcase. 8:45, players are removed from activities, and Destiny 2 is brought offline. You don't even need it.
Get out of here.
I'm already gone. 10 a.m., update will drop for all platforms, and you'll be able to log in. And then 12 p.m. is when the maintenance will conclude. So you can watch the showcase from 8 to 10 and then hop into the season.
Cool.
Maybe you'll be in a queue. Let's hope
Get
not.
a little lunch in between, right? Get nourished. Get some water.
You can eat while you're in the queue.
Yeah.
Have a sandwich. You deserve it.
Oh, don't forget to turn in Vanguard tokens if you care.
Yeah.
Turn in Vanguard tokens. Infamy rewards. Visit the Drifter and claim those, including engrams. You need to do that. Splice the Servitor engrams. Make sure you pick those up. And if you want to do any challenges, of course, you might want to do your seasonal challenges and Bungie rewards and all that stuff. Oh, and then, yes, we maybe need to remind people about their Bungie name.
Right. Log in with the name that you want.
Yes.
Big Dick McGee still rocking it, baby.
The first time you log in on season 15, that will be your name for a while.
Yes.
So
whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam, make sure you log in first with the platform that has the name that you want to pick for a while.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You should do that.
Should we talk about the anti-cheat?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that was another bit of news.
yeah.
Oh my god, I completely forgot. First of all, I just want to say the art from Jade_PNG on Twitter, which is the Mithrax in like a
Oh yeah.
like
an 80s kind of.
So good. Surfing on some digital waves.
Yeah.
Great. Love it.
That's awesome. I would if she made a wallpaper of that, I would rock it.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I like that very much.
It's cool.
Yeah, you want to talk about anti-cheat?
Yeah, so this is a news because for the longest time, Bungie has kind of been saying that they've handled their own anti-cheat type of stuff in-house and, submitting banhammer type of stuff and all that. And they've been really secretive about it. So they've officially announced that they're working. Is it BattleEye? Is that the name of the company?
BattleEye. Yep.
Yeah. So they've officially they're going to be working with BattleEye to implement anti-cheat. And the way I take this is, by the way, that's basically the news that we have about it. The way I take this is they had a team in-house before to handle anti-cheat, however many people it was. I don't assume it was a big department because cheating is kind of a problem in Destiny. The way I see them taking on or bringing in BattleEye to work with or contracting with them is they obviously they have a bunch of games that they're in and they see a lot of cheats that happen. So it's like Bungie hiring a big team that only focuses on anti-cheat to hopefully patch up some holes faster than they've been patched up in the past. Hopefully. That's the idea behind it, right?
It's I'm sure it'll make things a bit better. I will say for people to temper their expectations maybe a little bit, because even with Valorant, where their anti-cheat requires kernel level access to your computer, there's still cheaters in that game. Mm-hmm. So you're never going to be able to fully eradicate them, at least not now. But this is really good news. And they're also taking a bunch of cheat sites to court as well. They're still suing people that make cheats and sell cheats.
Mhm.
So hopefully with that double effort of taking them to court and then also having this extra anti-cheat.
I
I think
just
they really
Look at
enjoy doing that. I think it's like one of their favorite new hobbies. is trying to
Like,
sue
woo,
cheat makers
that
out
was
of existence.
fun. You got
Yeah.
this Bungie security team in there, like, you're on it.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's good that they've got like a dedicated team essentially that's coming on board to do this stuff, because I think at the very least it should accelerate the rate at which stuff is discovered and squashed. You know, because again, you're not gonna patch all these holes ever. There's always going to be stuff that comes up, and people are smart and creative and come up with new ways to cheat in games. But if a company is dedicated to finding all that stuff across multiple multiplayer games, they're going to find those things faster and be able to hopefully patch them faster. I guess we'll just have to see, like, does Bungie update it fast or update it quicker that way? Or do they, vet the stuff longer? Like it's like updating your anti-cheat or your virus software in a computer. How often are you going to update that? How often is Bungie going to update that?
Yeah. Bringing in a specialized team hopefully helps.
I'm sure it's
They
going to
do-
help.
I mean,
They
it
do
can't
support a lot
get
of other
worse
games
from it, I'm guessing. So
Yeah, these
It'll-
guys
it'll
are
be
the
a-
people in charge of anti-cheat for Fortnite, PlayerUnknown's,
Yeah.
Arma, Rainbow Six Battle, or Rainbow Six Siege, sorry. Like a ton of pretty well-known games that, exist online. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hard to talk about this one without getting in there and stirring it up at like a month afterward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
also, they did say that season 15 is the soft launch of the anti-cheat. So I'm sure they're kind of ramping it up as time goes on. So it's only going to get better. And it's obviously
Hopefully.
not going to be worse than what we've currently had, unless it's just
Yeah.
like banning people for stuff that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, should be good.
Not to sound negative, it does kind of correlate to my dad went out for smokes for 2 years and then came back and said, so about that Crucible. So about that cheating problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's that. Anti-cheat's coming to
we'll
Destiny.
see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it doesn't like rob us of like 20% frame rate and keep us offline.
That's
for
the
a
other
couple hours
issue,
at a
right?
time.
Yeah, that would not
That
be a
can
good-
be an issue, yeah.
Yeah, if it's a kernel
Definitely
level
can be.
anti-cheat that's getting put in there, what other kind of havoc is going to get wreaked from it just existing in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
I think we kind of nailed it.
Oh,
I
one
think we
thing
did.
I forgot when I did this the first time in the little section, Arbalest is going to be intrinsic anti-barrier in the future.
Oh, that's
Mm.
nice.
Last thing, I missed that.
That's actually really good because everyone
Yeah.
really likes snipers when they had anti-barrier, right? Because they do big damage. You can get rid of the barrier quickly. That's really nice. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I guess it's Twitter question time, Briar.
I guess it is.
Surprised we have
All
time.
right.
Unleash the gates.
This is all mixed up again because I didn't make a list this week. I was a little busy. So it's just going to be in random
Wow,
order.
Briar, we're docking your
Jesus,
pay.
man.
Wait,
It's
you
a
guys get paid?
professional podcast.
Ooh, never mind.
So we're starting with Hugo Rune. If your house was on fire, what 3 items would you definitely leave behind or even surreptitiously throw into the flames when no one was looking? Oh, this is going to be all my wife's stuff. I can't answer this. I might hear about it.
Oh man,
If I'm
We
planning
throw
on
in
throwing
the
away,
fire.
I wouldn't even think about
I
it.
don't. Yeah, I don't really have anything that I want to get rid of. I guess it's a situation where you're with a partner and they have like a weird, creepy doll collection, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll throw the
Like the
creepy
leg
dolls
lamp from Christmas Story.
away.
Creepy doll collection is hilarious. Yeah, that would get tossed.
I refuse to answer this. It can only serve to get me in trouble. We have a chandelier in the dining room that at one point had, I can't even say it. I'll get in trouble.
What,
I can't say it.
what did the chandelier have on it?
It had little homemade rooster like lampshades on each of the bulbs on the chandelier.
Rooster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Who made them?
My wife's mother. They were beautiful. I would.
They
Okay,
were
okay.
lovely and not
Immediately
not
save those.
fire worthy.
We're talking about things we'd
So
save
much
from the fight,
sentimental
right?
value.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
I mean, theoretically, if one were to be lost, then the whole set would be useless because you
Gotta throw it out.
Go, yeah.
But it's getting burnt. There's a fire, and it's going into the fire.
could never do that. Mohegan 9 says, my only child recently got married. Can still send a gift if you want. How do I convince my wife to let me make her old room my gaming room? Interesting question.
You don't call
Appropriating
it
an ex-child's room.
Don't call it the
Ex-child,
gaming
child
room.
itself.
You just
Ex-child.
ex-child. Excommunicated. You don't call it the game room. You just start moving some stuff in there. It's the storage room. And you're gonna
You
just
call it the
Yes.
you're gonna organize
quality time romance room is what I'm making. A quality room full of
That'll keep my wife out.
attention. Mohican
I'll just
9
start
is in
moving
the chat.
CRT gaming monitors into there.
Call it the printer room.
The
Yeah,
printer room?
study is actually a good idea.
Study is a
Study.
good idea.
Sitting
Study.
room. I don't know. There's a lot.
Study. A library. Put books in there. Now it's a library.
Yeah.
Don't use the word gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from
Put
gaming.
books in there, but like slowly over time, start like putting your game collection on the bookshelves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found just
Slowly
like avoiding the
transition.
words gaming and gamer in everyday life is usually the correct.
You just
Doesn't everybody
I
have a
just-
75-inch 4K,
I don't love
120
them.
hertz
I don't know.
TV in their study?
again, it's just storing things. It's a storage room. You got to
Mhm.
store some stuff in there.
Yeah.
You happen to store these gaming things, you know?
Yeah.
You put some
Storage
books in there.
for my PS5.
You could
and
say,
my collection
how
of
about
games.
we reorganize the living room? Oh, we might need to store some stuff in this room while we reorganize, and then you never
Yeah.
reorganize. You got to stop her from reorganizing.
Yeah. Why'd you put that comfy chair in there? Well, if I'm going to organize stuff, I got to be comfortable.
Just didn't work with the rest of the living room. Didn't fit in with the whole rooster motif.
Why is there a giant TV on the wall? Well, if I'm going to be in here organizing stuff, I got to like watch something.
It's lonely clean. Wayne says, does anyone remember the vision we were shown at the end of Season of Arrivals where a bunch of races were gathered around a darkness pyramid? Anyone remember the races shown? Does it reflect the current alliance between Guardians, Cabal, and Elixni?
Wow.
Paul was on Tree Watch, so I assume he.
I remember. So Hive were in there too. The Vex were not there. I just kind of interpreted that as like the darkness is kind of willing to work with whoever. So I thought that was going to mean that there were going to be other races that got darkness powers, which may still happen. We just did Stasis Fallen, and if we're getting a new subclass, I would expect the Hive probably to be using it. It might already be like Hive Soulfire or something, so enhanced by darkness or whatever. So that's how I interpreted that, rather than I didn't see that as like an alliance working against the pyramid. I viewed it more reverently. Like the pyramid was like we're like worshiping the pyramid almost. Like so I think it's important. I kind of have the opposite interpretation of it.
Duo Shade says, rapid fire questions, Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Diet Dr. Pepper is like the best. I've never even met Mr. Pibb. Jewelry heist or casino robbery?
Casino robbery.
Yeah, casino robbery sounds way more fun.
Yeah, it does.
All right, I don't know one of these words, so I'm just going to try my best. Crepes or beignets? It's spelled
Crepes or
B-I-G-N-E-T-S. Crepes or beignet?
Right?
Crepes. I do love crepes.
I don't know what the second one is.
Crepes.
Beignet
I
is
think that's a
delicious,
made-up
too.
word.
It's French. New Orleans.
Whatever.
It's the donuts. Donuts from the French Quarter.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Changed my mind a little bit now.
No, I'm still doing crepes.
I love crepes.
Bar soap or shower gel? Shower gel.
Shower gel.
Depends on what mood I'm
Like
in.
a loofah. I just like to dump it into the loofah. It feels good.
What if your loofah goes missing?
You got to do the loofah. You don't even want it. You don't even want a loofah that went missing back. You just get another loofah.
I'm just saying, you're happy to have the bar backup.
I mean, you could use gel in your hand.
Yeah, it's not the same.
You want a loofah. Foot rub or back scratch? Back scratch.
Back scratch.
Back scratch.
What?
My whole body hurts, so anytime a massage is offered, I'm
Wrist.
pretty
Wrist
excited.
massage.
Gonna say
Wrist.
yes.
Yeah. Massage where? Don't know. Don't care. Everything hurts. Doesn't matter.
Awesomeness says, so I used to have PS2 game that's basically Smash Brothers with Shrek characters. If you could have any set of characters in a Smash-like game, what would they be and who would you main?
Massive boob anime ladies.
Okay.
You make a good.
Are there not
valid
several
argument.
of those already?
Dead or alive?
But
9?
like the
Doesn't
good one.
exist.
Well,
Okay.
Dead
Dead or Alive is pretty good.
Dead or alive?
Alive is pretty close.
It's got to be like an all-star list of different.
Right.
Yeah, from like
Properties.
all anime, the biggest boob lady from each anime is in the game.
Okay.
Can Lady Demetrius be in it?
Sure.
All right, I'm in. Sold.
Resident Evil's anime. Why not?
Like, Resident Evil, made by a Japanese company, therefore anime.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Use the
Capcom
rules.
made it and it was like Street Fighter-ish. It wasn't just like a kid's game. It was like an actual
It's
adult
like-
fighting game. That'd be fun.
Oh, man.
Jose says, howdy DCP. My question is, what was your first exotic weapon ever? How did it drop?
Mine was Hard Light. It dropped from a Crucible game. I did not know exotics existed. So I was like, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh my God, it's an exotic. That must mean it's so good. And then I remember the next match that we played was First Light. And I was like, I'm going to use my new Hard Light exotic weapon. And it was
Bummer.
the worst experience ever. Like, it's the worst gun I've ever seen. I couldn't shoot anything. It was a disaster.
I got Thunderlord in a similar way. I didn't know exotics existed. I got it. I was with friends and we went immediately to the Crucible. And if you'll remember, Vanilla Destiny, for those who don't remember, heavy ammo basically, once you got it, lasted for the rest of the match. And Thunderlord was a monster.
It was.
It was a win button in the Crucible. It was awesome. It was the best possible
Yeah, I
first exotic experience you could have.
I'm trying to think. I know where I got it. I got it from the chest that we all made sacrifices to in Vault of Glass. The first chest.
The first exotic came from Vault of Glass?
Yeah, in there. I popped it.
shit.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure it was Universal Remote. And I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, Universal Remote. And then I was like, I had to look it up real quick. The perk said special ability offers greatly enhanced range and precision damage when aiming down sights. I remember reading that and thinking, yo, this thing is like a scout rifle. And then obviously it was nothing like that upon trying it out. I was so disappointed.
The mystery we used to have.
Yeah.
I think mine was Icebreaker. I just don't remember where it dropped from. I honestly can't at this point. But I'm almost sure that was my first one. I'm trying to remember what it even launched with and like what came later, because it's a little hard to remember. But certainly wasn't Gallarhorn.
You didn't buy it week one?
No, it was weak. No one bothered for the most part.
Be like rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Do you remember furiously trying to farm for the strange coins to give Zer? You're like, I'm like 2 away. I can totally get 2 more.
Yeah.
I was stressed out over that.
That was a stressful time.
Mm-hmm.
VHRP says, if you could speak with a younger version of yourself, how would you admonish or encourage a younger you without revealing the elements that have happened from that specific point onward?
If you don't say specifics, can you just say like the thing you
Bitcoin,
want to do?
motherfucker.
That's true, actually. Could you just say like the thing you want to do? Maybe keep doing that thing. Do the thing. You know, even if it's bad, just
thing
keep
will
doing
materialize.
I think Briar's onto something. I think what you would say is in the at some point there's going to be a currency and it's going to be digital.
Mm.
You're going to want
Don't panic.
to buy a lot of it.
Will sound very dumb, but
It's going to sound like an awful idea. A lot of people are going to criticize it, but at some point it's going to be absurdly expensive.
Sell it all in 2021. That's not actually what I would say. I would say, because the only thing I actually regret in my life, or that would change in my life, is how I've treated people in my youth, especially. And I would try and change that. I would try to correct that behavior in my youth. I would say I would either apologize if it was too late, or I would just not treat people badly in my life.
I always knew you were an asshole, Briar. I could sense it.
You don't even know.
I don't think Briar has ever hidden it. I think we just don't know the extent of how bad it was.
How big of an asshole?
Josh Porter says, as Season of the Splicer draws to a close, what's been your favorite seasonal weapon from this season? He says he'll have Chrome Rush with a substance.
Stochastic variable. Freaking love that SMG. It's so nice. I guess that's technically not a seasonal weapon, but I'm still picking it.
Oh, does plug one count? Probably not.
Yeah, plug one
I
counts.
think it does.
Yeah.
If it arrived this season, it counts.
Plug one. I don't really want to use anything else in the Crucible now. I'm like, plug one. It's great.
I think the Chrome Rush for me as well.
Chrome Rush, very
Chrome
good.
Rush is up there.
I do like Chrome Rush.
I like Ignition Code too, but mostly only because of the mods this season. I'll probably stop using it after. But
yeah,
Grid Skipper's good too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good weapons that
The
came
seasonal
this
weapons
season.
are great.
Yeah.
All the weapons, like world weapons, seasonal weapons, fog weapons, like Fatebringer. Like, there's a lot of great weapons this season. I think they did a great job.
Agreed.
Buggy T says, hey guys, no questions. Just hope you're all having a good week and that you'll all get plenty of rest before Tuesday's reveal and start of season 15.
I'll
Now,
have you know,
thank you
I
very
will
much.
not be getting any
I'm
rest
not getting any rest.
because I need to finish Ghost of Tsushima DLC in 4 days.
Four.
Thanks for the
only
nice
like
words,
days.
third of the
Buggy.
base game length. That'll be fine.
I'm going away for the weekend.
Oh, Bryce
I'm
having
taking a little mini vacation. Jay Hutch says, these questions is about, you get one. What do you like about the fusion changes? What don't you like?
I like the potential run and gun playstyle of the rapid fusions. That's exciting. It's a kind of different way to play with them. And I am concerned about high impacts.
Yeah, that's basically how I feel too. Concerned about high
Charge
impact.
time seems a little rough on high impact.
It kind of
A
feels
little
like that archetype could get just killed, where people are like, it's just not worth it dealing with it. But the whole 9-bolt type of thing with the fast firing or burst fire, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Could be a
does,
fun
Does
run and gun.
Mythoclast count as a fusion rifle? Because that's probably the most exciting buff, but probably not technically. I'm curious to use Merciless if that'll actually be legitimately okay now. But
Mhm.
I've been using Merciless in PvP and it's pretty good.
just the base stats on Merciless with the catalyst are
Oh my god, with the
nutty,
catalyst,
so,
the
yeah.
range just goes woo.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Sparty for you says, if you eat a person that got the shot, do you still need the shot?
No.
It's like zombie rules where I'm pretty sure it transfers over. I
Is
think that's
this
it
how
works.
we get anti-vaxxers to get vaxxed?
Somehow I think it would be.
We let them eat us? No,
Easier
that's not
to-
how we do it.
We let them eat Briar one limb at a time. You save. Well, at least there's a reason for your being eaten.
Yeah,
this
it's
time,
for a good
Briar.
cause
You're-
now.
it's a
It's
good
for
cause.
public
Yeah, it's
health.
good
So it's
cause,
fine.
man. Break off a piece.
Physics says, with the significant change coming to Nova Warp, do you guys think that it will be one of the top subclasses in the Crucible?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. I'm curious to use it in PvE, honestly, but those are some crazy buffs, so I'm very curious to see how that works out.
Dave says, how many THWABs would a THWAB reader read if the THWAB reader could read the THWAB before me? One
How
THWAB.
many? 112? Nice.
One THWAB.
0.04 TWAB.
-9.
Cones. 7 rings of shotguns.
BLM says, for Watts, I have virtually no experience with anime, just DBZ and Avatar, LOK, if that counts. What 5 properties would you recommend to someone brand new to anime? Movies, shows, old, new, or whatever?
There's some really easy ones, like a lot of people will say Cowboy Bebop and stuff, and those are classics and very good. When I go to recommend anime to people, I tend to offer something that's maybe a bit different that you maybe didn't expect from anime. So something like A Place Further Than the Universe is really good. Violet Evergarden. If you want a movie, you can watch Your Name or Weathering with You. Full Metal Alchemist is always super easy. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Do not do what someone's friend did who did not know anything about anime, was told to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and watch the live action on Netflix. Don't do that. Do not. It's not animated.
If you've gone into live action, I think your anime journey has gone astray.
If you find yourself watching real people, you may
You
have
just
took
watched
a
the
wrong
Dragon Ball Z
turn.
movie with that white guy. Like, this
Oh,
is
that was
terrible.
good.
I don't know what everyone's
It was
talking
so
about.
good.
Yeah, don't
Some
Don't
white guy
do
named
that.
Justin.
And the last Airbender movie,
Okay.
man, classics.
You know they're doing a new one, right, for Netflix?
They are doing
Right.
a new
with
live
actual
action.
Asian people, so that's good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of if you look up like any kind of thing of what anime to watch if you are new to anime, there's a bunch of lists. But I do think that people think of anime in a very specific way. So watching something like A Place Further Than the Universe or Anohana can be good because you see the storytelling that anime can really excel in. And if you're a Star Wars fan, September 22nd, you can go ahead and watch Star Wars Visions,
Yeah.
which is really exciting.
Have you guys been watching the What If series?
I
Yes.
haven't. I've heard
Yes.
that the most recent episode is phenomenal, and I
Pretty
need to
impressive.
catch up.
Pretty
I mean,
impressive.
it's hard not to like the T'Challa Star-Lord one is Boseman's
Yeah.
farewell. That was really
Mm.
well done.
I like the first one as well, too.
The first one was good too, yeah.
Big Boss Self says, first question, if you were to make one change to the THWAB format, what would it be? More community art is one I'd like to see. The community talent is amazing. Change the THWAB format.
More anime boobs.
I do like boobs.
I'm gonna say more pictures, period. I really love when they do, maybe not of boobs necessarily, but
But they could.
I do like pictures of boobs.
Check out these
I could be in there,
cones.
yes.
Hmm?
But they do a really good job with the screenshots and stuff they feature for like the headers. I don't know. I always like the art. I'm kind of biased because I like stealing things for articles and thumbnails, but
True. Same.
Yeah.
it can be kind of wallet
People like
texty
pictures.
sometimes. So I think more
Yeah.
More
pictures,
pictures could be good.
Yeah, information's a bit dense. Like today, there was, even though they did have some pics to break things up, they were not anime boobs. So unfortunately, it didn't help. And yeah, pretty intense
Just
on the
put boobs
information.
between each paragraph. You know, kind of
Yes.
mix it up a little bit.
It'd
Yeah.
take me longer to read it, but I would always read it.
I would love. You know what I'd actually love? I'd love a little blurb. Maybe not every week because there might not be something every week, but like that a bug that they found that was somewhat entertaining or that they'd want to share with us. Like, here's a
That'd be
bug we
fun.
found.
Oh,
Does
yeah,
something
like
dumb.
bug corner, weekly bug corner, and be like, this was
Weekly
a
bug.
dumb bug. Yeah.
Ooh, how about here's the guy we banned this week, and here's what he did. Here's some video.
Here's video evidence. Here's how we came to our conclusion with our extensive investigation.
That was super entertaining when that YouTuber got called out on Twitter.
I love them calling out cheaters. It's funny.
That's great.
Holly Love says, do you think we'll find out either in game or through lore that Segura was not destroyed but taken?
Mm.
It is an interesting theory that Osiris has been kind of influenced by Savathun since way back since the Segura thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she was taken instead of killed.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, right? If she was taken, if she's imprisoned and they're holding her as ransom
Oh, and that's his
and
motivation.
making Osiris do bad stuff.
Oh.
Because he was
Interesting
forced.
twist.
He was
Yeah.
forced
Okay,
to-
there's a couple ways you could go with this. Sorry, I'm not going to launch into a whole thing, but so if we're doing the Savathun as Osiris thing, either you could say that she kind of possessed him, and the reason she could possess him was because she destroyed Sagira, so he doesn't have the light anymore, and that's why she's able to do that. Or there's an alternate theory where she could have just like imprisoned Osiris and potentially Sagira somewhere, because pretty much everything we've heard from Osiris has been Savathun since he got back from when
Right.
Sagira died. So Sagira might not have died. That could have been a lie. And then
true.
maybe she made her own Osiris body and they're trapped somewhere. So
Oh, yeah,
it's possible. I think Sagira's dead and I think Osiris is alive. That's my theory. But yeah, I don't think we can know for sure yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Michael Cameron says, which is more likely in season 15? A, Telesto has to be disabled. B, Murmur is reprised. C, Trials renamed after Saint 14.
Telesto is such an easy answer.
Obviously.
Telesto is an easy answer. I do wonder with Osiris missing. I don't know, because we've got a rework of Trials. Osiris is missing. Saint's like this, the dude of Trials.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe they would change something up.
Trials of
but
Saint 14.
It would be
not.
fun to have Trials of Saint 14.
But they
Like-
wouldn't. They have to change it though.
They're not going to, because if
I'm
they
not
haven't
going.
disowned Osiris by now, when they're like literally like Osiris did war crimes, but if he comes back, we forgive him. Like either they'll find the real one and he'll come back and they won't change it, or they'll discover he's dead and that was Savathun the whole time, and they'll
And then
still
it's a
like
memorial.
they'll keep it because they're honoring him or whatever. So I don't think they're going to change it.
Yeah, probably not.
McDonald's order number 441 says, would you rather have a game with stellar story and lackluster gameplay or a game with stellar gameplay and a lackluster story?
For me, gameplay.
I mean, Destiny 1. Am
It's
I
a
right?
gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. Yeah, because
Number
like,
2
a
was
story-
Destiny 1 for a long time.
It was. It really was. You with a game that has a great story, of course, is an amazing experience, and you love it, and you come away from it, and you're like, that was awesome. But you won't want to keep playing a game that has lackluster gameplay with a good story. You're gonna be like, I've seen the
Uncharted
story. I'm gonna
says
put it down.
differently. I've beaten all of those.
Are you still playing them to this day?
Are you saying
I
that
mean,
it's
I
bad
beat 'em all.
gameplay or a bad story?
No, I think they're a pretty good story. I think the gameplay was not spectacular,
It's a little clunky.
But you don't go back to a good.
but it's a story-based
right?
game. I don't go back to a movie either.
But if you just wanted like a really good story, you didn't care about gameplay, then you could just like watch TV. Really, like I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems like you're losing something
there
by not
is-
having gameplay. In
there
a
is
game
something
that is
about
good.
the way a game can tell a story that a TV show or movie can't, because you're part of the action. You're in it.
For sure.
Like you're involved in the storytelling. I would default like reflexively to gameplay, but there are definitely games I've played because of the story and the gameplay actually was not that great. But if I had to choose, like my forever, like I'm gonna go to gameplay.
Right.
Someone said
but
Mass Effect. I think that's a
plenty
really
of-
good example of like
That's a
at
very
least
good
the
example.
at least the first 2 Mass Effects had like pretty terrible gameplay, especially Mass Effect 1. But
One really
the
did.
story and characters were so compelling that you're like, all right, I'll struggle through this
Yeah.
extremely shitty chest high wall.
Outer Wilds,
shooter
I think, is a
space.
big hit that recently came out that I don't think it has particularly amazing gameplay, but the story is so compelling that you just keep going.
The old like Telltale games, maybe. I mean, gameplay is even a stretch there, where it's like mostly walking
Yeah.
around and talking to people. But I
Yeah.
mean, those are pretty clunky, even just doing that. So
Stoic Silver 360 says, do you think believe the Scorn would have unstoppable champions next season with all the unstoppable mods coming?
Is Scorn going to be champions? Unstoppable champions?
maybe. I mean, I'm still banking on the Dreaming City because we have Hive and Taken, and those have both unstoppable, and then Scorn are there too. it seems like they have to add Scorn champions eventually. Like
Yeah.
it just seems odd unless they're gonna kill the Dreaming City and Tangled Shore like with sunsetting or something. Like it seems like they should have champions at some point.
I wonder if it was something that would happen in season 15 or if we'd get kind of more champions in Witch Queen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like what Paul's saying about are they going to further the story of them, or are they going to just vault it and be like, well,
We know so little.
Yeah, a whole bunch of assets that we don't need to keep in the game memory anymore, so we're just going to delete that.
It would be weird to delete an entire race, given that like you totally need more races, not less races, and yet, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the first time they've deleted something that we kind of needed, but you know, I mean, they've said publicly that they are going to sunset Forsaken at some point. I guess we just don't know when.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, but it doesn't feel like they get a lot of attention at this point. So unless they bring it back for some sort of story arc, it might be the type of thing where they just kind of end up phasing them out.
That was Presage. Yeah, I mean, we hadn't seen anything from the Scorn since Forsaken. Then they did Presage, and they gave them a purpose again. But it is hard to see them kind of coming back into the story at this point. Like they would have to really reach for that, and I think they kind of just did that with Presage. So I would not expect to see anything from them for a long time, kind of, if ever again.
Yeah.
Lino says infinite real life piss wells or a one-time use of a super of your choosing. Keep in mind that when using real life piss wells, it will be obvious that it is piss. Thank you for your time.
Is it not already obvious?
Just some sort of warlock slur that I don't understand. Okay.
No, do you want an actual real life?
What do you mean, Paul? We're all
well of radiance.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want a real life urinal of radiance that blesses your health every time you pop it, and you get to pop it
I'm
whenever?
going with that. If if
a
family member or like a pet's not doing well, I can just put them in my little
well.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let me piss on you.
Yeah.
Like R. Kelly.
Like, I'll take out this sword that looks phallic-ish, and I'm gonna shove it in the ground, and it's gonna unleash a well of urine that cleanses your health.
Hope you got a good mop.
This would make
I'm about to kill you.
This would make Tefty's golden showers better.
I'm gonna open up a business, Tefty's Golden Showers. You come in, you get the shower, you're cleansed, you're healed. I'm gonna be like making mad cash from it.
Probably make a cult.
Might have to think about the name, but yeah.
Oh yeah. That's got cult written all over it.
Yeah, it does.
You will be saved if I can piss on you.
It's infinite, you know.
That's the obvious answer, though. What other one-time use super is as good as being able to heal everybody by peeing on them?
Pretty great.
It's a no-brainer. Rabbit says, "Can Mylan games be a permanent addition?" No, go fuck yourself. Lord Beerus says,
Mylan. Oh my God.
You mean Mylene?
Mylene.
Only if he tells me on the lore on it. If he tells me the lore on that, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Lord Beerus. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fuck yourself.
Mylan would tell you the same thing back, so I wouldn't feel too bad. Every time I raid Mylan, he's like, "Oh God, no."
Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Lord Beer says, "I play more casual due to the slowing down of content. My question is, what is it that keeps you coming back?"
As lately, it's been story, because I'm curious of what's happening with the season.
This season in particular, yeah.
For at least a month and a half, 2 months now, there's some story thing every week, so that's worth showing up for. We'll see what happens in this like 6 month long season we're about to have.
8 months,
but
8 month season.
That might be a little different. But yeah, they've done a really good job kind of making seasonal content something you look forward to every Tuesday to at least a small extent, whether it's just a
I definitely do.
Small story drop or what, but
I definitely do. I'm reading lore now. I'm reading lore. We have like the weekly story. We go through the stuff. We learn the story in game, and then we're like, "Oh, new lore. Let's read that too." It's got me like way more invested in the lore that you read as well as the story that you're experiencing through the game.
Usually I don't read people's apps. I just read the name For Nicholas Prouse, though, I'm gonna read his at. It's at Sega Dreamcast 92.
Nice.
Which made me happy. If you could add anything to mashed potatoes other than gravy, what would it be? Personally, I like adding corn.
Oh, that's good.
Mix a little corn in there, like a shepherd's pie, maybe. Garlic.
Is butter too easy?
Garlic
Butter.
is always
Butter's
good.
Yeah, butter's really the go-to, right?
Yeah.
Garlic's great.
Garlic is great.
Bacon, that's good. Yeah.
Ooh, bacon. Like crunchy or kind of chewy?
It's chewy.
Yeah, you want
I would too.
like a bacon bit type of thing.
No, bacon bits are crunchy, aren't they?
Yeah, like a crunchy,
I want a little chewy, soft.
You want to be gnawing on some bacon with your mashed potato that's already like soft?
Well, they're just little bits. It's a little flavor. I don't want anything hard and like coarse and sharp coming through. Unexpected potato.
I'm gonna mix some corn into it.
I like
Little
peas
corn?
and mashed potatoes. Peas and mashed potato works really well.
It does work pretty good.
Yeah,
That's nice. Honestly, mashed potato, I feel like you can do whatever you want. Mashed potato. It's great.
it's a delivery mechanism for a lot of flavors if you make it that way. Like
Sometimes
cranberry.
it's a dipping sauce. I used to dip soft pretzels in to mashed potato. And yeah. Delicious.
For Thanksgiving, I would have no problem mixing a bunch of cranberry sauce with some mashed potato. I think it was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now
but
we're
everything with
talking.
mashed potato.
Yeah.
That them there taters.
How come we only eat cranberry sauce during Thanksgiving? What the
know.
fuck?
Lame.
It's so good.
That's a good question. I
God
mean,
damn
you are an adult, bro. You can go
Yeah.
buy some cranberry sauce.
Do they even sell it?
Of
It's
course they do.
illegal.
They got
It's like the purge. You can only have it one day a year, and then it's banned.
It's gone. Let's see here. Dredgen Law says, I remember Luke Smith saying that we won't see a content drop as big as Forsaken ever again. I find it a bit contradictory to the best days are yet to come narrative. Do you guys think that the future expansions are still destined to be Forsaken sized or smaller?
Yes, I do. That still bums me out, and yet, like, we know Bungie is expanding, and like I think they put a lot more into seasons. So like the seasons we've gotten are kind of bigger and more robust than any of the seasons we've had. But expansions, I do think we're not going to get something that size again.
Huge too.
Because yeah, and because Bungie's expanding, and they're expanding to make other games though. So they're not just like tripling the size of their Destiny team. Like even if they are expanding it, it's probably never going to get to the level it was under Activision, because the people they're hiring, they have all these incubation projects to work on, and they're going to have at least one new live game in the next couple of years. So I can see that potentially being the case.
Yeah. I don't
Dreadnoughts.
think. I was just gonna say. I don't think. I think that phase of Destiny has moved on. The huge drop that just has 3 months worth of actual content packed into it really hard. Like I think it's by design, it's being split out into the seasons because there's more engagement. Like you can just see, there's just more engagement. There might be more complaining about it, but there's definitely more engagement with the content over the course of a year with the way they have it set up right now. So.
Yeah, and
I wonder if it'll ever get to the point where there is no one big DLC for the year. It's just that effort is now spread out through the 4 drops of the year. So each one.
I would be surprised because they want to sell you it for $50.
That's
Yeah,
a
I think-
point. That's a real good point.
I
Yeah.
think the marketing of the game, like every year is kind of a new chance to capture a new audience of here's this big thing that's happening, switching up everything, everything's different. So I think the big drops are still happening. I think more importantly, it's like Forsaken was massive, and of course we all love that, and I would love to get that consistently. But I think if Bungie use their resources well and use that content well, it can be just as good as Forsaken, even if there's less, content in it.
Watts is applying for a management position right now.
Just wait until
There's
Destiny
a
3.
lot of positions in Bungie. You guys should check out the jobs page. There's so many.
There is. They've been hiring. Yeah.
So many.
Yep.
They're hiring like crazy.
Yeah, guys, just wait until Destiny 3. That'll be the big.
It's gonna
big
be
drop.
so good.
Massive,
Yeah.
right?
Vanilla Destiny 3 is gonna be a shit house, but Like the first expansion is really gonna fix it up. And everybody's gonna love it after that.
You joke,
It's
and yet.
Dreadnought says you get locked in Home Depot. All of a sudden, there's a riot inside. What's your weapon of choice, and what's your strategy to escape?
Chainsaw.
There's so many weapons. No, chainsaw's
That's a
too
good
cumbersome, and you got to turn it on, and there's not going to be
I want
gas.
two
Hold up.
like
No,
little
no.
electric ones.
I'm assuming this is my own fantasy, so I can easily wield the chainsaw with no cumbersome weight. I'm just jacked, so I can just like a lightsaber, and then I take it and it's already fueled up with like, infinite fuel, and I cut a hole in the wall to be able to walk outside to escape. Yeah, it's my fantasy.
Sure, that's how
I have many
chainsaws
problems
work.
with this scenario. Okay.
Not doing great through concrete, really.
Well, in this particular case, it was the door that was locked, and I just sliced open the door.
Mm.
There's a lot of weapons in Home Depot.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
There's
think.
so many.
Ooh, nail gun. That's a good one. You have to be tethered, though.
It's to probably sell machetes, right? For
Probably, yeah.
gardening.
Mm-hmm.
What if you became the toilet master? You KO'd people with a toilet.
Toilet seats.
Porcelain.
You could throw them, and they like hook around people's necks.
Yeah.
How about 2 electric circular saws, one for each hand?
That's pretty good. That's
That's
better
pretty
than
good.
chainsaw.
That'll
get you out.
honestly.
That's gonna get you out too, because you'll be able to
Mhm.
circular saw through the door.
All right,
Why can't I
get
use
on
the
a riding
chainsaw on the
mower
door?
and then mount chainsaws on the front of it? And then
Okay.
drive that around.
Okay. I feel
That's
this.
a
Yeah.
good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going
behind
with
this.
Ooh,
manure.
get a lark.
Manure.
You know those little manure?
Poo
Yep,
master?
I'm gonna throw. I'm gonna throw poop at
Throw
you.
manure at people.
That's gonna
Yeah.
work. Honestly, I'm
gonna be
getting the
great.
fuck out of Watts' way if he's throwing shit. That lady's crazy. She's throwing poop at people. I'm hanging out here with Chainsaw Tefty.
Chainsaw.
And I'm
Yeah,
jacked.
Chainsaw
All right.
Tefty's
Chainsaw
favorite.
Tefty's jacked, so he can wield this thing easily.
Hey, mulch could get in people's eyes.
Absolutely.
That's painful.
Vision hazard.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Phil says, just a suggestion: if you do questions on side quests again, I see no reason why they shouldn't be called side questions.
True.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
He has a big point.
Yeah. Dig it.
Drago says, what is the DCP perfect heist? And who has the roles in the heist?
Perfect.
man.
Who's the hacker man's?
Tefty is the hacker man.
I'll do it. I'm
Yeah,
down.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Watts
tough
is
to
the
make.
muscle.
Mhm.
Not very.
She's the crazy
not very
one
jacked.
where everybody goes in there thinking nobody's going to get killed, and Watts shoots somebody, and it goes all to hell from there.
That is
The
accurate.
unstable one that throws everything off. Yeah.
I think Briar is going to be the double agent who double crosses as the twist at the end.
I would definitely double cross you.
Be like, remember that thing I was wanted to wish I didn't do in the past?
Remember how you said you're going to eat me for 4 years?
And then I'll say, don't worry, Tefty. He's already barbecued.
Boom. And then you
I'm
pull
sorry
out
about
your propane
I pull out my propane and manure.
manure combo.
Shimazu Sama says, which anime studio would you like to see tackle a Destiny OVA? What's OVA mean?
It's like a one-stop special movie thingy.
Mini
Like a movie of the week on,
Movie of the
CBS?
century.
on Lifetime?
What does it stand for?
I would-
OVA.
I don't actually know what it stands for. What does it stand for?
Ovarian
Good start.
vaccination.
Original video animation.
Assembly.
Yeah.
Original
Right,
video
right.
animation. Okay.
I was almost there.
You were close. You were really close. I would go with Production IG. They're the original studio behind Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan had some of the most amazing action scenes. And they also do like dark stuff really well. So I think whatever direction they wanted to go with an anime for Destiny, like if they wanted action or they wanted like creepy kind of storytelling, I think that'd be really good at it. They're also making something for Visions. Star Wars Visions. They're working on that.
Cool.
Ego says, "What is your favorite board game / card game to play with family and friends? Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're doing great."
Whatever embarrasses people the most.
Does Mario Party count?
If it's
That's a board
lagging,
game. It's just a virtual board game.
Played it recently. It's great. Also with you guys as well. Played it recently.
We used to play Scrabble here, and we all liked it quite a bit. It was a fun game.
There's like people to say funny words and they put stuff together. When they say it, they're like, and then that's great.
Mm.
Do people still play Pictionary, or is that like not a thing anymore?
still love
Pictionary's fun.
Pictionary.
Pictionary's fun.
Yeah. I don't know if they still play it, but
Veritas Otis 52 says DCP becomes the new Mr. Beast. What is your first video you put out?
Huh. Are we?
I'm keeping my money. Leave me alone.
First video is Briar spends $1 million.
donating the money to my bank account.
Maybe we could make a video of us doing the heist, or
Mhm.
Yeah.
protecting ourselves in Home Depot. We can
Tune in
turn.
Those are both
Friday
great
for
ideas.
Ferrari Friday.
Yeah, it's
We
us
could do Ferrari Friday.
making new weapons out of Home Depot. Yeah,
Mm,
we'd
that
have
would be
Ferrari
fun.
Friday.
Fun.
Ferrari Friday is
Yeah.
a series recurring, and
Every
then
Friday.
we have Weapon Home Depot experience, and then we
Mhm.
have we
God, I'm
try.
thinking about doing that video
And then
right
nothing,
now.
because
actually.
everyone's dead after Weapon Home Depot experience.
True. So if half of us died during Ferrari Friday, let's be honest.
Well, then we do we fake a heist. And this sounds like a great YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Highly
it's
highly
only 3
clickable.
videos, but they're good videos.
Yeah, 3 videos, 50 million each.
It's 11:08. How many more we want to do? 3 more.
A couple more, yeah.
Dredged Zero says this goes for DCP crew, and if Paul wants to answer, he can. But with the next season being you all have to Warlock, what will be your starting loadout?
I've decided I'm gonna be a bottom tree Dawnblade main, unless I hate it, which I might. But it sounds fun to be just diving all over the place. You know, get to keep some of that hunter shadow dive movement essence. But now I burn people instead of freeze people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
burns when you
running around
pee.
with Mythoclast because, I mean, hello. Why would I not do that?
Right.
Mythoclast with maybe one of those rapid fire fusions. Just gonna be fusion rifling it up, diving through the air. Also, Cammy Cakes put out a video on a build for Bottom Tree Dawnblade, which I appreciated very much.
Nice.
So I might just copy that.
The Dawn Chorus, because that's what I
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
using Dawn Course. I don't have it yet. I need to keep an eye on Lost Sectors. I'm slacking. It was using the chess piece that has you float in the air.
Oh,
So his
yeah,
whole
Sacred Dawn.
yeah, yes. His whole thing was you can essentially play as a top tree Dawnblade with different movement by using that chess piece, and using the buffed bottom tree, which was really cool. You guys should check it out.
Nice. Yeah. But I definitely want to go Void because I want to blink. Use the helmet that gives me much better blinks. In terms of weapons, I actually don't know what I'm going to use. I'll probably just keep what's on my hunter at the moment, bring it over, which is like an assortment of Xenophage and Chrome Mirage and Grid Skipper and all that, and just kind of go from there. But I have no specific weapons that I'm thinking about for next season, mostly because I like to just see what I like at the time, what I'm feeling, and then just
You're gonna get new weapons. So.
yeah, and
Yeah.
new weapons are usually like taking up most of those slots anyways, aside from a couple exotics I really like. So I won't be touching Anarchy. I'm deleting mine, throwing in the trash. Bye, Anarchy.
Reasonable.
Coda says if you were stuck in a zombie apocalypse and could only use one subclass element from Destiny, which would you choose?
Self-res.
The fire one. Burn them.
No,
No, then you
self-res.
just have flaming zombies coming at you. Fire is terrible against zombies. I don't know why anyone
What?
ever
They
uses
burn
fire
and they
against zombies.
die.
Smells
They
bad,
don't, they just
man.
rush you because it takes forever to kill a zombie with fire. That's the worst. That's the worst idea. I'm sorry.
Dang.
I'm gonna go void because they just like cease existing and just sort of like disintegrate. That's what you want out of a zombie killing
You
element.
make a strong point.
Yeah, or stasis would be good because then they shatter and then all the shards go into the other zombies'
They
heads.
just thaw out and keep chasing you.
Stasis would be good.
But the shatter.
You just
If
gotta
you could
shatter
shatter their
them all
brain,
first. Yeah.
that's all you got to do. You could burn their brain, but again, it's going to stink really bad.
I think they already stink.
Yeah, but imagine
I'm gonna
like
be
100 times worse.
Burning zombie.
Ugh.
Imagine like microwave zombie.
Ugh.
Not watching that smell.
I
out.
imagine that would smell similar to if you put Bacon Baby in a microwave.
Oh, dear
No,
God. this
bacon
is
baby smells
disgusting.
delicious. It just smells like bacon.
Yeah, how old was Bacon Baby?
Good point.
Years.
It was pretty old, Bacon Baby. I'm gonna be a typical hunter and just go invisible and let you guys die while I'm invisible.
What happens when it runs out?
Not going to. I have an improved graviton forfeit from season 15.
What happens when you got to use the bathroom?
Be invisible in the bathroom.
It doesn't work when you're invisible.
The zombie's like, whoa, what was that flush? What was that sound? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I think self-res. If I get bit by a zombie, I'm going to just boom,
Self-res is
self-res.
pretty good. What if you self-res yourself as a zombie though? Isn't that what zombie is? You're
Yeah,
getting
zombie
res?
is self-res, just uglier.
No, it's not. Zombie is
Mhm.
zombie. No,
Yes, it
zombie is
is.
zombie. Zombie is an
Fuck
affliction.
you.
Zombie is an affliction of some sort of like virus. Self-res is literally self-resurrection.
But you're a
Also,
zombie.
Guardians come back to life like 5 times a day.
Darkness
so
zone. Darkness zone.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning. So inconvenient.
It's a one life. Got to delete your character.
Sits again and Fragato says, Paul, what crazy thing would you do to make Bungie add a auto dismantle blues option next season?
Oh man, what wouldn't I do for that? You name it, I'll do it. Like, I'll shave my head. I'll do anything.
We might hit you up for the DCP Patreon.
Yeah, I am willing because it's hilarious just how many changes they made, and I think the most major thing is like now you get maybe 2 blues after like Crucible matches instead of 3. That's like the big change they made. And like it's even more baffling considering we had auto dismantle like in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Yet here we are.
Yeah.
Liebeck says, for Watts, have you seen Tokyo Ghoul? Well, you would love it. It's about eating people.
Yeah, read the manga, don't watch the anime.
Nailed it.
It's the anime's not great.
No good.
Not great.
Not fun. All right, that's it.
You probably have fun.
We have answered all of the Destiny questions that anybody could possibly ask, wonder, or wish.
I feel enlightened.
We did it.
We fixed everything.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
My Destiny IQ has definitely raised in these past 2 hours. So thank you.
You can find I think I'll be the one-stop shop for all things Warlock next season.
I already was. You
So
know
many
what I'm
Warlock
saying?
buffs. This is like a good season for you guys to have to
It
be
actually
Warlock.
is. It is, to be
Yeah.
honest. A lot of the changes that I looked at was like Hunter, we did, Shurikens. Yeah. Warlocks, though. Here's
There's
a
a lot.
novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good season for it. It's a long season for
Long season of being a warlock.
it. Yep.
Might change me. Changes a person, you know. All right. Well, that is Destiny Community Podcast, episode number 253. Almost forgot it, but I didn't. Nailed it. Thank you very much for watching, hanging out, listening. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for the support. And again, everyone for just chilling. We appreciate all of it. Paul, where are you on the internet and what are you doing between now and I guess we already said between now and the release.
Now and like 4 days from now. Yeah, I'm actually I'm leaving, but I'm going to Michigan for a couple days and I will be back definitely in time for the Witch Queen thing. So cannot miss that. And then elsewhere, you will find me at Paultassi on Twitter, Paultassi on YouTube. I am now making lots of Destiny videos and lately Cyberpunk videos because there was actual news there.
I heard there's a fantastic DLC.
Yeah, just the jackets are
Groundbreaking.
amazing and it's totally a reason to play again.
Is that really what it is? I haven't actually read up
There
on
are
this.
2 jackets, a car, and a worse skin for Johnny Silverhand.
Good Lord, I better load it up right now. Let me download that game. Jesus.
Yes.
So sad.
Wow. Well, Briar, what are you doing?
I'm going to Pennsylvania. I'm going to Amish country to join a cult and ride
Churn
horses
some
and
butter?
shoot guns. Ooh, butter. Love butter.
Churn
Put it on
some
my
butter.
pants.
Yeah. Nice.
Briar's opening up a shop called Buttered Guns.
Butter
You can
guns.
find it at your
Everything you want out of life. Butter and guns.
Butter. What do you sell? Butter and guns, obviously.
Butter and guns.
It's a convenience store. It's got everything.
Yeah.
Watts, what are you doing?
I will be playing Ghost of Tsushima Iki
Oh,
Island
yeah.
tomorrow
I
morning.
gotta do that too.
Yep, we're gonna be playing that tomorrow morning on the PS5 with all the updates and the upgrades and the new content. I'm very excited.
Nice.
I'm gonna take so many pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited as well. I'm looking forward to it so much. I'm trying to decide, do I want to go for the old school experience of playing on the PS4 Pro or play it on the new PS5? I couldn't even keep a straight face. All right. Well, yeah, looking forward to that, and also looking forward to next season, and also the reveal. It's around the corner.
The reveal.
Yes.
Yeah, we won't see you guys. Well, on side quest we will, but we won't see you guys until new season is out.
That's
Big
right.
showcases happen. Next week's gonna be
Spicy.
extremely excited.
Yes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yep.